Welcome friends, namaste, it's Kimberly. I'm going to take you through a beautiful, short and sweet hip opening sequence consisting of just a couple of yin postures. This is a great practice to do on those days where you don't have a lot of time, but you're looking to release the tension from your hips. In terms of what you'll need for props, I do recommend having 2 blocks with you. And if you have any sensitivities in terms of your knees, I would recommend either having a small cushion or perhaps a blanket to pad your knees, especially if you're on a harder surface. Okay, let's get started. So we're going to begin with dragon pose. Grabbing your 2 blocks, I'm going to recommend that you start with them at the highest level. Okay? With both knees grounded down onto the mat, you're going to step your right foot forward. So you're in a low lunge position here. Left knee is grounded. This is where if your knee is sensitive, you would tuck a little bit of padding underneath there. And then we're going to go for a high flying dragon pose here. So aiming to lift the chest so that you can have that beautiful access to the psoas muscle here through your left side. Hands rest on the blocks, eyes closed. Slowly roll the shoulders down away from your ears. Relax your jaw. So create a layer of space between upper and lower molars inside your mouth. Start to find a slow yet deep rhythm to your breath. In and out through your nose. As much as possible, trying to soften in through your body. Focusing on the breath. And when things start to feel like they're quite challenging, you're finding those longer, deeper breaths. We'll be holding each pose here for roughly 2 minutes. We're almost at that 2-minute mark now. See if you can start to find a little bit more vibrancy to the breath. So taking those longer breaths in. And definitely those deeper breaths out. Last 2 deep breaths. Very slowly, always want to come out of a yin pose slowly. Start to shift the hips up and back so that the front leg straightens just a little bit. Keep a soft micro bend in the back of that knee. Very quietly step that right leg back. We're going to continue through that left side, coming into sleeping swan pose next. So meeting me in a tabletop position, we're going to tuck the left knee towards the left wrist, lengthening the right leg back behind us. Of course, if the hips are not level, this is where a small little towel or that cushion I was talking about can tuck underneath the sit bone. And you can choose to be more upright if that feels better in your body. You can also start to fold. You might fold onto blocks. You might even just fold down to the earth. You want to find a place where you can rest, where the sensations are sustainable, manageable. So you're not forcing or pushing. You're softening in. And then you tune right back in, finding those long, slow, deep breaths. Quieting the mind. Fueling the body with the breath. And we're never pushing or forcing in any way. It's always about softening and surrendering. Tuning and listening into the body's cues of sensations. We're already halfway there. Can you take a few more really slow, deep breaths? Let's do one really deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and exhale. Really slow. If you had folded forward, just start to lift back up. Take your time here. Always take your time to come out. Begin to lift the hips up, tucking that left leg back. And take a moment, just sit the hips back towards the heels. Just find a little sway of the hips from side to side, just like you're a dog wagging its tail. Breathing deeply in and out of your nose. And then eventually slowly making your way back up to table. Finding those blocks again, bringing them up to the highest level. And this time we are going to step that left foot forward. So we're giving that left knee a little bit of a break here. Right knee grounded. And walking the blocks up a little bit closer towards shoulder line. Adjusting in any way, and then settling the pelvis forward and down. Melting the eyes to a close, or at least a soft gaze here. And then just finding yourself tuning right back into the flow of the breath. Letting the breath just settle in wherever it needs to go. As challenging as this pose can be, it's definitely one of the more challenging yin poses. Can you find the softening in the musculature so that you can deepen the release, the stretch of sensation through the fascia and the connective tissue that holds all the muscles in place? And we're at that halfway mark. A few more deep breaths. With me, take a deep breath in. Send a long breath out. Again, it's that really slow transition out. Just slowly beginning to lift the hips up and back. Let the front leg straighten, soften a little bit. Quietly step that leg back. And then we'll find that swan pose, this time on the right side. So drawing right knee towards right wrist. Finding a lengthening of the left leg back. Again, feel free to prop up that right sit bone. Maybe you're staying upright. Maybe you're finding a soft forward fold, whether it is onto the blocks or maybe it is right down to the earth. Sometimes I like to place the block underneath my forehead. And this way I can completely surrender down here. And everybody's body is different. Sometimes a block underneath the chest feels good, and then a forward fold. And you want to just find what feels and works best in your body. As much as you feel the sensation, you want to breathe into it and let that breath be what softens the tension in the body. That breath which helps to release the tension in the body. And that breath that ultimately brings the balance back to the body. Take 3 more really slow and soft, steady breaths in and out through our nose. Slowly, if you fold it forward, begin to lift back up onto the palms of the hands. Eventually lifting the hips up, carefully extending that left leg and right leg back behind us. Let's send the hips one more time back towards the heels. Find that gentle little sway from side to side. Slowly lifting back up, turning over to come on to the back. And setting up for final relaxation here. Maybe grabbing a block, maybe tucking it underneath the head at the low level if that feels good, or the blocks could also come underneath the knees for a little lower back support. Arms down by the sides. Palms face up, chin draws down to the chest. Let the hip flexors relax and soften. And start to let the control of the breath go. up this very short practice, infusing your body with all that it needs here. Always, please take as much time as you need here in Shavasana. Soak it up. When you are ready to come back, just be mindful about drawing the breath in deeply first, and then movement second. Thank you so much for your practice and your energy. Thank you for watching. And if you feel called to, please subscribe and like so that we can continue to offer and support you with free yoga. As always, in gratitude, namaste.